Wordware lets you pick from a wide range of models such that you can build the best possible AI application. The problem is you might not know exactly which model to choose, so I'm here to help. We have basically supported all the models from all the best models from all the different providers. You've got OpenAI's models, you've got Anthropic's models, you've got Google's models, you've got Meta's models, you've got Perplexity's models, you've got Mistral's models, and you've got Cohere's models, as well as some other model providers out there. And now, with all those different choices, which model do you choose? And really it comes down to a few different things. One core frontier is how fast do I need the response to be? And so this is a decision if you're very latency constrained. Do you need a small, fast model, or can you go with a slower model that's more able to reason? And that's often another thing is what kind of quality, what kind of reasoning capabilities do you need? Bigger, heavier, more expensive models are able to think better. They're like a higher IQ person versus the smaller models, which are able to give you really fast answers, but aren't necessarily able to give as good answers. You also care about kind of the quality of the outputs. So different models will sound different, and they will need to be prompted slightly differently. So some are better at some tasks, some are better at other tasks. And really it all comes down to experimentation, as with everything with LLMs. Another frontier you care about is do I want to use images or audio? Do I care about the multimodal elements? And do I need up-to-date information? So a lot of these models, they have a training cutoff at some point, and they don't have any information up beyond that point. So I'm going to go through a few examples and talk through the models as we go. So on the first parameter, speed, we can look at this model running. This is Claude 3 Opus. It's a big, heavy model. And we're writing a long essay about cheese, and it's kind of, we're just about able to keep up with it as it goes. So that's quite slow. But if we compare that to something like Lama 3.211b, where we get a lot more tokens a lot more quickly, and there's no way you'll be able to kind of keep up with reading that as it speaks. And then we even have a special model provider called Grok, which is really, really fast, and it's accelerated a small subset of models. And if we look at the speed that this comes out, it's huge. And so though it really depends what your use case is. If you need real-time audio discussions, if you want to do a lot of agentic thinking, like self-reflection before giving your answer to the user, there are certain use cases where you really care about speed. And so you can experiment with like different models to try and get different speed. On the kind of frontier lab models, you've got GPT-4o Mini and Claude 3.5 Haiku are the best two small models from OpenAI and from Anthropic. Sometimes you care about multimodal, and so if you want to pass in an image to an LLM, you need to have a model that supports images. And so we just ask what's in this image. I have a lovely picture of Margot Robbie there, and we used the Lama 3.211b model, which has this little image icon, which means it supports images. We can also use GPT-4o and see what answer it gives. And there we go. It's much more concise. And what you'll find is the different models respond differently. They require different prompting to get them to follow the exact kind of outputs that you want. We also have the ability to feed audio directly into the model. So there's only a few models that support this, but there's a really neat thing that this enables is it can detect accents, or it can detect actual things in the audio that are not just the text. And so
basically, AI just mindly guesses the next word.
If we listen to this little extract of audio from me, it's able to detect that I have a British accent. Whereas if you just looked at the transcript, you wouldn't be able to know that. Most models don't have that capability. So if we feed this to GPT-4o, we'll just get a warning that it doesn't work, and the model will respond that same way. Up-to-date information is another really big one. If we ask GPT-4o who won the 2024 US presidential election, it doesn't know. But we can use the models from Perplexity, like Sonar, and this is able to kind of search the internet before it answers. And now Sonar responds very quickly because it does a RAG-based search, and so you can research more into what that means. But then we can also use Cohere's models, the Command R and Command R Plus models, and enable the online mode. And if we run this, it will do an agentic search, and so you can get different types of search results. So that's a kind of a general overview of all the different models. It always comes down to experimentation, but hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight.